The road to WrestleMania made a stop at Pittsburgh. I've said that. I've pronounced that so bad. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For Monday Night Raw. We're going to review, grade the show. It was an okay episode of Raw. It had parts I enjoyed. It had other parts which were not too great. But I don't think it was as bad as some people are making it out to be. Last week's Raw, of course, was a hell of a lot better. But there was some stuff I did like. Let's get into the opening thing. Then we had the WWE Tag Team Champions A New Day take on the League of Nations in a title match. We obviously saw the match at Roadblock. This one was a better match. I had more time. It was a better match. Alberto Del Rio and Rusev, for me, are the two better wrestlers out there. But then again, Brad News Barrett's very, very good, and Sheamus. They're four very good wrestlers, to be fair. It was a good match, but New Day win again. Controversial circumstances. The beatdown after was a mauling. It reminded me like of a group of bullies who were just picking on three innocent kids. That's what it reminded me of, and I think that was the idea. This has made New Day babyfaces. Crowd, massive heat on League of Nations now. You know, New Day outnumbered, looked defenseless, and you can see now with the challenge that League of Nations later did actually give to New Day, we're going to get the New Day versus League of Nations for the Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania, and it will be on the main show, I'm all but certain. So a good match and a good, fantastic aftermath to the match from a booking and a storytelling point. Accomplished its job, kept New Day as champions headed into WrestleMania, brought them sympathy, showed the League of Nations to be a big group of bullies who could quite easily take down the New Day at WrestleMania. It done and accomplished everything that it needed to. New Day come out massive baby faces, League of Nations massive heels. It worked, good booking, and that ain't often that we say that. We then saw Dean, the Lunatic Fringe Ambrose, come out and cut a short promo before Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman came. Paul Heyman once again fantastic on the mic, went back and forth. It brought this feud again back into the limelight after obviously Ambrose has been away with Triple H for a few weeks. Brought it back. Lesnar then, Ambrose then got the crowbar. Lesnar went to jump. Ambrose nearly hit him, and eventually they walked off. Not a lot happened in this segment, but it brought it back to the forefront. They're leaving us wanting to see these two go at it again. That's a good thing, to leave us wanting to see Ambrose Lesnar fighting and not just giving it to us straight away. The Mick Foley segment was fantastic as well. Him and Ambrose, that was golden. Fantastic segment. Backstage. I wish it would have been done in the main on Raw in the ring, but it worked as a backstage segment. It was a good segment. So yeah, Ambrose, Lesnar, a match that makes sense, a match that's being booked well, and a match that is going to be good. Out of the three main events at the moment, you have to say this one is at the moment probably the best shaped wise heading into Mania, and it will more than likely steal the show. We then saw Sin Cara versus Ryback. The crowd were about as interested in this match as I was. I'd much rather Ryback as a heel, don't get me wrong. He's not full-blown heel yet, but he's slowly doing that heel turn. That's clever, I like that. But I'm not buying into Ryback Kalisto. I'm really not into that match. It's not exciting me in any way, and I'm not looking forward to it particularly. And it's such a shame. You know, you look a year ago, or less than a year ago, Cena with the United States Championship built it up and built it up and built it up. And even when Alberto Del Rio took it away from him at Hell in a Cell, it had still been built up fantastically. And then all of a sudden, Cena leaves. Alberto Del Rio doesn't really get booked particularly well, and again it becomes something that doesn't really matter, and it again feels like the United States Championship doesn't really matter. I feel like when Cena comes back, he's going to go straight after the United States Championship again. Therefore, I think that Ryback's going to win at WrestleMania. Spoiler to my prediction for the match. Because I would have thought they'll want him to come back and face full-blown heel Ryback versus John Cena. Makes sense. Rather than face Kalisto versus face John Cena. Doesn't necessarily make sense. This match was what it was. Got to show Ryback's strength and power again. But yeah, I'm not really into the big guy, as you know. Triple H then came out and cut a promo with Stephanie McMahon. Well, Stephanie McMahon first hit the promo, then Triple H came out, cut a good promo. Triple H has always been good on the mic, saying how we all want to go against authority and this and that, and that's why we love Ambrose, and then Reigns got booed again. Then Dolph Ziggler came out, which was a shock. I was almost as shocked when Ziggler came out as when Alberto Del Rio returned. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating ever so slightly. It wasn't that much of a shock, but it was a bit of a surprise. He came out, cut a heartfelt promo, and it's difficult to... I love Dolph Ziggler. I think most people do love Dolph Ziggler. But it's hard. You want to invest in him. You want to think maybe this is the time where they're going to give him a push to the world title and to give him a proper push that he deserves. But you just know, we've been in this situation so many times, it's not going to happen. Great promo showing why he should be in the main event. Showing why Dolph Ziggler versus Triple H at WrestleMania would be better than Roman Reigns versus Triple H. Again, showing that in 3 minutes. We then got a match later on in the night. Stephanie McMahon said, Dolph Ziggler, you want to go to WrestleMania? You got to beat someone. And you got to beat my man, Triple H. What a match. A match that I've never seen before, unless it's slipping my mind. Never seen Triple H, Dolph Ziggler one-on-one. It probably has happened, but I can't remember it myself. So a fresh matchup, seeing Triple H live on Raw compete, something special as well. And we'll talk a little bit about that match when we come to it. We then had Sami Zayn versus The Miz. I just wish they did Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens one-on-one. They're not going to. It's going to involve Miz. It's going to involve Kevin Owens. It's going to involve... Obviously, it's going to fucking involve Kevin Owens. So I think it's going to be a multi matchup, which is ever so slightly disappointing. But, because I'd much rather Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. This match didn't really do a lot. Miz hit Owens... Then Owens distracted Miz and Sami Zayn picked up the win. There's animosity between the three, which could suggest a triple threat. But yeah, it didn't really do it for me. What I want to see is Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens one-on-one. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, like we saw on SmackDown, face-to-face. And doing it that way. This was just sort of the simple booking that WWE do. Which, when it's never not going to be effective at all, it's never going to be really effective, if you get what I mean. It's the safe way to book this match. And booking a match like this safely means it's not going to steal the show. It's not going to... You know, I'm not saying that if it was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, it wouldn't steal the show, because the match itself would be good. But it wouldn't have that story that it could have if they went out and they really wanted to book this well. Then we have Brie Bella, Alicia Fox versus Naomi and Tamina. I'm not going to lie to you, I fast-forwarded this matchup. I don't care about it. I don't care about the Lana Brie Bella feud. It feels forced. It feels pathetic. There's no real reason why Lana's going after Brie Bella. I don't want to see Brie Bella versus Lana. Move on. We then saw the Usos versus the Social Jobbers. Usos won quite quickly. It was nice to see the Usos angry and disposing of the Social Jobbers quickly. And yet that was nice in a way. But the announcement of the Dudleys versus the Usos, if it's just a normal match, no TLC, no number one contendership for it, I really couldn't care less about it. This feud was good, and then WWE seemed to forget about it for a couple of weeks, and now they've just turned it back on again. For me, this match was perfect for Roadblock. It was a perfect match to have at Roadblock, to get this feud done, or if they were really wanting to do it for WrestleMania, to keep pushing, you know, to have a controversial finish, people go through the tables and set up a TLC match at WrestleMania. That's what should have been done at Roadblock. It wasn't done, so this really fell flat again. And I just cannot bring myself to care about the Dudley Boys versus the Usos at the moment. They've still got a couple of weeks to change that, but the super kicks the Usos do, are probably the best in WWE at the moment. We then saw a non-title match, Dolph Ziggler versus Triple H, and this was a stunning matchup. I still think just because I do think Ambrose Triple H was just that little bit better, but this was up there. It's the best match we've seen on Raw this year, period. I'm trying to think whether I can't think of another match that's been better. I think this is probably the best match of Raw in 2016 so far. If you think there was a better match, leave it down in the comments below. I've more than likely probably forgotten some. But yeah, great match. Ziggler again. You know, you want to say this could be a career-defining night, but he's had so many career-defining nights, like the Survivor Series, and then nothing comes of it. And you just feel once again that he is going to be booked back down to the mid-card. I don't know where this is leading, to be honest with you. If somehow Triple H walks out of WrestleMania with the title, maybe Ziggler, Triple H, you know, a Payback or Extreme Rules for the title. Maybe it's a feud that they're going to look into. It would be a feud that I'd be into. But I don't know. But a good match nonetheless. Ziggler lost, so technically I suppose he's not going to be at WrestleMania. He'd only been in the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial, something like that, or the Intercontinental Championship multi-thing. He wouldn't have won it, so it doesn't really matter. Really, although I suppose it's not really a big payday for him, so to speak. So I don't know. Perhaps he will be at Mania. But this was a great match. The highlight of Raw. Triple H showing why he is as good as, not necessarily as good as he claims he is and thinks he is, but he is a legend. He is an unbelievable wrestler, great storyteller as well in the ring. And yeah, a great match again. Putting over Triple H, but at the same time, if WWE want to book Ziggler well, which I don't think they will, it will be a good stepping stone. The near falls were fantastic. The way they've done the near falls in this match were absolutely superb. Ziggler I did hear him call the super kick spot, and I'm very bad at hearing stuff like that. It's not until I watch Botchamania and I hear it and I'm like, how did I miss that shit? But here I did hear Dolph Ziggler call the super kick. But a great match. Good near falls and proving why. Proving why. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say, so we're going to move on. I literally completely forgot what I was saying then. We then had Neville versus Chris Jericho. Could have been a great match. Neville was quite clearly injured, suffered some sort of foot injury, twisted ankle. Hopefully is okay. Jericho then went up to roll him up. And it didn't look to me as if Neville had kicked out, but the referee, Charles Robertson, decided to stop the count and say it as a 2 count, which then led Chris Jericho to then go and push Charles Robertson, get himself disqualified. And from the stuff I'm hearing, called him a bastard and this and that. Now, it's a difficult situation because this was not scripted in my opinion, and you could tell that by when Jericho then got the mic, he then tried to sort the situation out, then AJ Styles came out and it was quite a quick, I think it was all a little bit rushed, but I think that was because of the Neville injury. This isn't how it was meant to go. This wasn't some scripted thing, no matter what they make it out to be. Chris Jericho was pissed, and in my opinion, rightfully so. You know, you've got to protect the superstars, and if Neville had twisted ankle and his foot injury, Neville's not the sort of person that's just going to give up. He's not like the old Sin Cara who's going to dislocate his finger and then stop the match. He quite clearly was seriously hurt. Jericho rolled him up. Looked like that was going to be the way that they were going to get the win. That Jericho was going to get the win. Charles Robertson, for some reason, stopped the count. Jericho then lost his head a little bit. And yes, he probably shouldn't have pushed him. But maybe Jericho thought the only way I'm going to get this match to stop is if I push the ref and get him disqualified. It was an uncomfortable moment as a viewer, but I can understand where Chris Jericho is coming from. Although you do feel a little bit sorry for Charles Robertson. Yeah, I mean, if it wouldn't be Chris Jericho who's doing it, switch around. If it was Neville who'd done it to the referee, I think Neville would have been a bit of hot water backstage. But because it's Chris Jericho, he's almost, because of his legacy, because of what he's done, he's allowed to do this. And if it was heel Jericho trying to lose his temper, it wouldn't make sense, because why would he care about Neville being injured? So for me, it was not a scripted part. Neville was genuinely injured. Chris Jericho genuinely lost his temper. And Charles Robertson you know, should have just counted that 1, 2, 3 right there and made sure Neville was okay. Could have been another fantastic match of the night. Unfortunately, it wasn't. We then saw The Undertaker, Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon confrontation, whatever you want to call it, that closed the show. Shit! I've just realised I've completely and utterly not spoke about the aftermath of that Triple H Dolph Ziggler match. The biggest part about it, really, Roman Reigns returned. He came out terrible, getting loads and loads of boos. The actual attack, the beatdown, I loved. I thought it was great. The intensity, that's the Roman Reigns I can buy into. But they keep giving us this goofy Roman Reigns that we don't care about. And I'd buy into this Roman Reigns if this match wasn't for the fucking title. If Roman Reigns wasn't being pushed to high heaven, if it wasn't obvious that he's going to win WrestleMania and hold the title for most of the year, then I'd be down for this mad, crazy, no limits Roman Reigns, this hothead Roman Reigns, as JBL likes to call him. But I can't buy into it because I don't like how he's been pushed to high heaven. It was good, but it fell flat with the fans for obvious reasons. I, though, am looking forward to this match at Mania. I'm not the only person in the world looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to it. It will produce a good match. Fingers crossed Triple H wins for me personally, but I don't think that's going to happen. It will produce a good match. It might have some sort of Shawn Michaels involvement. You never know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not one that's really anti it. I think it's going to be a good match. I just think, and I think it would be funny to see Roman Reigns shat on. You kind of do have to feel sorry for the guy, to be fair, because it's not his fault that he's being pushed. But I don't really think they're necessarily booing Reigns, as we are booing Reigns, but we're booing the way he's being booked, the writing staff, Vince. You know, we're booing that whole thing, the whole thing we don't like about WWE in the business, when they push people who don't necessarily deserve to be pushed, and they over push people and don't push the people that deserve to be pushed. Yeah, it's just been this forced push that has left a sour taste in fans' mouths, really. Shane McMahon isn't a stunning person on the mic. He made a couple of slip-ups, but it's Shane McMahon. He's over. He brings out intensity. You can see the passion that he's got. There's still no real reason as to why The Undertaker is fighting Vince McMahon. I've seen a couple of people say because of his legacy, and a couple of people saying that doesn't really make sense because the streak's over. It's not going to affect his legacy. He's not fighting for his legacy. You know, I think writers have booked themselves into a hole because I don't think they really know why Undertaker's siding with McMahon. I don't think anyone knows. And if it wasn't for the fact that this is going to produce a great match, it would be a massive concern. But it's going to produce a great match. And I think we just kind of got to forget that it doesn't really make sense as hard as it is, and just kind of accept that this is going to be a great match. Yeah, the segment fell a little flat. As soon as Undertaker, though, went after Shane McMahon, it lifted up again. McMahon ducking, and then Vince McMahon pushing Shane McMahon into the Undertaker for a chokeslam to end the show. But yeah, that was Raw, really. It was a decent show, but nothing more than that. A great match, but missed a spot on a couple of things. Couple of weeks now till WrestleMania. Still stuff needs to be built up. The United States Championship match I don't care about. The IC title, we don't even know what's happening with that. Still work to be done on all three of the main events. Some more than others. But it is going to be a good show, and I am looking forward to WrestleMania. But that is basically it for this Raw review. A night which should be the defining night for Dolph Ziggler. How many times have we been here before? Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts on Raw down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.